What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. And let's let some people get up in the room. Let's give it a couple minutes. Thank you guys for joining me again for another Saturday Night Live. Now, I got to be honest. This week, it's been crazy. I've been just so busy that I barely had time to put together much of a show. And I almost canceled. I came this close. But then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go on with the show. So here I am. We're here. We're rocking today. So let's see how many people we got up in here. I didn't get time to set the thumbnail for very long either. What up, Steve? Good to see you, brother. I didn't get time to set the thumbnail. I didn't get time to set anything up. And there we go. We got some people. We get some people getting some notifications and getting in. So let's give them a couple minutes. But yeah, like I said, it's been a pretty hectic week, and I've been testing a lot of new products that Gamma has been sending out, and we'll talk about a little bit of that. Oh, Ivy Mac back in the house. What happened, Ivy? You didn't have to work? Where were you on the last talent show, man? And the talent show, the talent show was a little bit of a disaster. Not entirely, not a total loss, but a little bit of a disaster. And that actually reminds me, there was somebody who sent in a video, and in the shuffle, somehow, I didn't play it. And it was really important to me that I did play his video because, all right, this is a barber who worked with me and then worked for me, and he had a triple bypass, and his whole situation was looking real grim, but now he's on the mend. So, oh, here we go. We got Gino right here. So, Gino, I'm going to play yours because I didn't get a chance to play yours last week, and I feel terrible about it. The moment I signed off last week, I was like, oh, man. Hey, what up, mama? Speaking of people who just had surgery, my mom just had a surgery. She just had her hip replaced, but she's about to be out there kicking ass again real soon. So I'm going to get to some of you guys' questions, but first, let's drop my friend Gino's video in here. And, yeah, let's remember that he just had a triple bypass only like a month or so before he made this. So, yeah, and if you guys want to send some critiques in, feel free to send them to the email. You already know what to do right here. Bam. All right, let's bring this back.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
He is 100% Italian, y'all.
That's amore. We're making pasta for the family.
Well, he ain't playing. He's making it from absolute scratch.
Pasta, fettuccine, beautiful fettuccine for the family. Bon appetit, everybody.
Oh, the whole family's out there. Look at him. That's the video, y'all. He's making some. All right, he was making some pasta. I had to play it. All right, you guys. Looks like we got a bunch of people up in the house. We are jamming, and that was one of the last entries for the contest. And let's get to some of your questions, man. So let's talk about what the show is going to be about tonight. The show is going to be about what is your biggest struggle, and that's what I want to ask. So if you guys could tell me, what is your biggest struggle? And I might even have someone on the show. I'm not sure, but let's get started with that. What up, O-Dog? O-Dog, Ivy. He's got elbow cough. Bless my mom for a speedy recovery. She just got her hip replaced, too. She's in pretty rough shape. Mama, I'm going to call you after the show. I was actually taking a nap because it was getting it was just a hectic week. All right. So let's see what some of the questions were earlier. Adrian Lopez wrote, "My biggest problem is getting the line out and making it blurry, and the edge up uh, when the hair is overlapping." Okay. I see what he's saying. So he's saying that he's having trouble doing the edge up when the people's hair is so long that it kind of falls into their forehead, or they're maybe wearing bangs. So in that case, I usually take a clip or I take a hair gripper and I just push the hair all the way up. That way I can make that line easy. You got to get the stuff out of your way. Actually, before the hair grippers, years ago, I used to even use gel to push the front of the hair back so that I can make that line crispy. And then the other piece of advice I would say is just take your time making that line and watch it take shape. Don't try to do too much at once. And the other thing with your fade, you want to make them blurry, right? That's the plan. You want to make them blurry because you see all the Instagram photos, and maybe you see some of mine, maybe you see some of these other people's, and you might be holding yourself to unrealistic standards. But let's talk about the most common reasons why people make mistakes in the fade. Reason number one, leaving the head too much. This motion on the head is sort of the same motion you would use with an eraser if you drew a line in pencil and you were erasing it. All right? And secondly, I always see people leaving the head a little bit too much. So if you are not getting that clipper down flat, getting those guards to be the appropriate lengths that they're supposed to be, and you're leaving the head a little bit too much, that's like one of the biggest beyond your machines. That's one of the biggest mistakes. Now, secondly, the other thing that really happens to a lot of people is they don't understand how or why to zero gap their equipment, and it's actually pretty simple. All right. So the idea is we want to make really small jumps from each step so that you don't create any lines, so that it can stay blurry. Right. That's what you want to do. So let's talk about the biggest little thing in my case that I was rocking with for the last few days, and oh my God, I really feel like I've been missing out on something with this Uno. I'll talk about this in a second. Let's take this out. This is just an electric shaver, you guys, okay? So let's talk about this for a second. We need to make a very small jump from skin, bald, all the way down to this trimmer, okay? And this trimmer is going to cut at approximately, I think it's 0.17 of a millimeter, all right? But that doesn't really matter. The idea is we want to zero gap this to get it as close as we can get it to the electric shaver, right? And then once we're in this step, we also want to zero gap this one to get it as close as we can to this one. So this way I can get a smooth blend all the way up to when this taper is in the open position, which is roughly 2.5 millimeters, okay? So that means that I can actually make this all blend out if all my machines are lining up good, all right? I know that was like kind of a long one and I missed out on a couple of them, but let's get down to business here. Let's see what some of you guys wrote. I joined you at the perfect time. I appreciate you, Tony. Tony, my man, right there. I love that guy, man. He's out in L.A. trying to make his bones making films for people. Higher than needed. This is a good question. This is a good question. How do I prevent from making my fade higher than needed? Okay. One of the things that can really help you is you need to pre-cut some of that hair, because if you are attempting to do a fade in the head, you know why I got my hat on? Because number one, my bills are and everybody up, and I hope that we keep on going. Whooped on Russell Wilson, but look at how long my hair is. Busy barbers don't get time for haircuts sometimes. I swear I didn't get time to even cut my own hair. But if your hair is as long as mine, and you're trying to start your fade, and you're going into hair that's super long, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to not make that fade a little bit too high. Because as you start to cut some of that hair off, essentially you're kind of pre-cutting it a little bit late. So what I would recommend you to do, if you want to keep your fades right where you intend to keep them, is work your steps a little bit differently. So for instance, if I put my 5-0 line and there's a lot of hair, I might have pre-cut that with a 1 1/2, all right? Or maybe a 2, or maybe a 3, whatever I wanted to do to get that hair out of the way. But get some of that hair out of the way. And then instead of attacking that line with your open taper, attack that line with a longer blade, such as like a number 1 or a 1 1/2, and then go down to a 1. And that's going to help you to sort of start to see exactly how it's shaping up, exactly how everything's working, and then work your way down to them lower steps. That can really help you. but also putting your guideline in the right spot is definitely going to help. Okay, talk about it. Can I use a double-sided safety razor instead of a straight razor when shaving a client? Huh. I suppose. I mean, look, you can do probably whatever you want to do, but I would not recommend doing this because you're going to miss out on the ability to go with the grain. You're not going to learn your strokes, and you're going to probably find it really difficult to do your edge ups if you're going to try to use a double-sided safety razor. It's not something I would recommend, or or it's just going to probably lead to you making mistakes or possibly cutting a client. So I would definitely avoid that. I would definitely avoid that. So he said it's a Buffalo Wild Wings hat. I see you, Juan. How's your Patriots doing, by the way? I ain't been really watching. I noticed they were at the bottom of the division, just a little bit above the Jets, barely. Montreal, good to see you, buddy. I just seen you in there. Manny, my man, what's good, man? Good to see you, brother. All right, so let's talk about something for a minute. We have to. I had to come clean about something. I feel like I've been sort of shortchanging you guys and myself. All right, so I have recently seen the light of having a single foil shaver, and this tiny little thing is super cool. So the client that I did the wave cut on, or let's see if I have one of his thumbs. All right, here's a thumb. Let me show you something. This client here, look in this thumbnail and look under his nose. I can't believe I let this slide. I cut him under the nose. You guys see that? I'm not infallible. Yo, I make mistakes too. All right. So I cut him and put it in the thumbnail, and no one noticed, which is good. But I want to show you why I cut him, because this area on his hair, it grows all the way into his nose, right? And so I cut his hair the other day, and I had this, and I was able to literally just turn it on, and in 2 seconds I was able to eliminate all that hair that grows really close to his nose, and then I was able to just take my straight razor and shape out his beard. And I thought to myself, this is literally using the right tool for the job, because there's no reason. And I've cut him more than once trying to do that spot. So there's that, right? Then your low fade question. If we go back to your low fade question for a second, you were talking about how do I keep my fades at the appropriate level. Something like this can certainly help you because it's a single foil shaver. You're actually able to get it down to skin in a very steep amount of space, and you're able to just barely move it, barely tap it. It's just an incredibly useful detailing thing. And then thirdly, the other takeaway from today and the few days before this, if you do say like a number 1 or a number 2 on the back and sides of somebody's hair, right? And you cut around their ear and you do the, everybody knows what it's called? I'm gonna ask you guys, what's it called when I go around somebody's ear? I'm gonna just quiz you because it's on the state board. But when you go around the back and sides of somebody's ear, a lot of times they got hair that grows in the little canal of their ear and up the other side. And sometimes it can be almost impossible to shave that because it's just such a deep little like valley or something. I've been using this to get around those tough areas too, and it's A1. It's so cool. And for that person who asked about the double-edged safety razor, it certainly is possible to edge with this. So if I wanted to have like a chin strap or something, I could line that out with the hitters and then come back in with this. Hey, it is called arching. My man Harris, he's paying attention. He's paying attention. So it is called arching. Arching can be done with shears. It can be done with a razor. It can be done with obviously your trimmers, which is what it's most normally done with. My man, forge cutters versus the crunch cutters. Rum Barber is in the house, and if you guys haven't seen his review on the Uno, which is right here, I don't have a review on it yet. This is sort of like a first take. I'm just talking about it right now. But the forge cutters versus the crunch cutters, and I gotta say the forge cutter is the one that I'm rocking with, and overall, I think it's one of those things that like it's sort of like this mighty little tool that you didn't really realize that you needed. And Rum, if you want to come on the show for a minute, man, I'll put the link in there. Join the show for a second. Hold up. Boom. And we'll put it right in here. Let's see if we can get him to join up. Let's see what's going on in their world. Because I think they're getting shut down again. Maybe that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Some of you guys are getting your barbershop shut down again, and I really can't believe it. I mean, I know that the numbers are going up and things or whatever, but yo, I think it's getting ridiculous, and continuing to shut down these businesses is just getting out of hand. Here we are in Florida. We've been cutting with no mask for 4 months straight. We've not had any problems, and we're all making money over here. Business is like as usual down here. So, I mean, I really hope that some of these states start waking up and start letting you guys get back to work, because I really hate to see it, man. I really hate to see the fact that people are not able to make the decision to come into the shop or not. Everybody understands that there's a certain level of risk in everything you do. And if your shop's open and you're sitting there and people want to walk in, then why not? Why not? Let them come in. Let them get their hair cut. Yes, yes, I will do some cut critiques. I'm going to be doing them in a little bit here. So if you guys want to go ahead and send over any of your haircuts to masterprimetime@gmail.com, I will do some critiques in a little bit. So I'm not really sure what's going on with all these lockdowns. Like, everybody in the comments, sound off. Tell me where you're from and whether or not you're able to work. We got all barbers in Belgium are also on lockdown, by the way. Greetings from Belgium. You guys are in Belgium watching my show? That's so cool. I always wanted to go there. Yo, I like Stella, by the way. That's I know a little bit more about Belgium than that, but yo, Stella, real talk. Ain't that where it's coming from, right? It does come from there. Except for I got coffee, so it's kind of boring. But let's see. Is Rum going to get on? Where you at, buddy? Just click that link. That's all you got to do to turn it on. So, yeah, man, we've been going live now. Like, I guess this is like, I made up, I wrote 35 episodes, but I know I'm well over 30 episodes of going live. We've been doing this show once a week for a while. And it's just been great to see the audience grow and to see everything happening. But on the other hand, I'm scratching my head about the views that I get on some of my uploads. Like, I uploaded that video yesterday or the day before. It's literally got like 600 views. And when I'm done with this live, it'll probably have 1,000 views by tomorrow. So I don't really understand what's going on with YouTube's algorithms. But it's really kind of confusing, but I don't really care. I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm helping people. That's all that really matters. How would you recommend practicing your haircuts? All right, this is something that comes up a lot. As a matter of fact, I get this all the time. Like, how am I going to get my reps in? I don't have enough people to practice on. Maybe you only got one kid. Maybe you got no kids. Maybe you got no one to practice on, right? That's exactly what these are for. See that mannequin up there? It's not really taking center stage or anything. But the best thing you could probably do is get yourself a mannequin, which will help not only build you some confidence, but allow you to make those mistakes and allow you to kind of start to grow. And then maybe you can start to, kind of expand into some of your friends, some of your family, stuff like that. The email is right here. It's going to stay here. So for anybody who's not really sure where it is, it's literally right there on the bottom. Okay, let's see. Robert is from Hawaii, and we're not on lockdown, but some businesses and places are closed, like the gym, bars, clubs. Huh. So you get healthy by going to the gym, and generally healthy people are going to the gym, and you choose to shut the gym down. I don't get it. Why would you shut the gym down? I can understand bars and clubs. All right, people get a little bit crazy. People get a little bit crazy over there, but I'm just saying, like, yo, people are getting healthy in the gym. What's up with that? All right, when you go to Belgium, please eat our waffles. All right. So the Belgian waffle is also from Belgium. I wouldn't even have guessed. In Philly, Juan, you're in Philly and you like the Patriots, man. That is a shame. It is a shame. I'm glad you live in a city that stole the Super Bowl from you. It makes me sleep better to know this, but I'm glad you guys are still open. Indiana. Good. No lockdown in Indiana. I'm glad to hear that. Stay strong. Stay strong. Let's see here. Working on self cuts. Cutting my dad's hair. Out of all the YouTubers out there, I've looked to you the most to learn the craft. I appreciate you, Alex. Thank you, man. I appreciate the comment. I always struggle getting the bald line out. You know, it's really funny that probably the number one question that I think I get asked is how to get that line out, how to get that harsh line out. And for a lot of people, it's probably a case of what I talked about earlier with holding it flat, but it's probably a case of both knowing your technique to some extent, yes, but making sure that your machines are lined up so that you can get each step very close to each other. Like we just talked about earlier. This electric shaver and this trimmer, we need to get these two distances as close together as possible. So like once I'm done shaving somebody with this, I can easily clean up with this. If this leaves the hair too long, that means it's not zero gapped. And that's probably the first place that I would look. So I would look to my equipment, make sure that that's fixed. Because you know what? You know what's great about the fact that if you're struggling and it's an equipment-based problem, what's great about it is it doesn't require any talent to fix it. You literally just zero gap it and you can get right down to business. So a seasoned barber would know instantly. Like if I picked up somebody's clippers that weren't set up the way that I'm used to working with them, I mean, I would run over the line a few times and I'd be like, no, this is not going to work. And I would make the change to the clipper and I would go back in and I probably wouldn't struggle at all. All right. I'm thinking about changing careers from an office job to a barber. I'll be turning 24 in a few months. I'm scared to do the switch. I would appreciate your advice. Let me ask you something. Do you want to come on the show, bro? I would love to talk to you. I'm gonna put the link in here. And that is Hamacho. Am I saying your name right? Where is it? I lost it. Sorry, a couple more comments come in, and I'm trying to find it. Where'd he go? Yeah, Hamancho, Hamanchui. I'm not definitely not saying that right. Yunez, Mr. Yunez. I'll go with that. Come on the show for a minute, man. I want to talk to you about this live because it is not only you who might make this change, and I would love to hear you out and hear your rationale as to staying there versus going. So let's see what some of these other ones are saying. Man, you guys are real active tonight, man. It's pretty dope to have so many people in here and contributing. Let's see here. He said, don't be afraid to push it up a quarter of an inch. If you keep playing with the line, it will come out. You know, this is a good point. Musa brings up a good point. I think that some of you guys who are not getting the line out also are probably a little bit afraid to go as high as you need to go to make it happen. My son Drew, I don't have my other camera up. I was about to show you guys that little depiction, but if you think about like a triangle, well, this is not a good triangle. I'm trying to make one. So like if you think about like a triangle, all right, and you are gradually making this hair get longer. So off of this axis, you're gradually making this hair get longer. As long as everything happens real smooth, you're going to get your blend correctly. And even if you have to go up a little bit higher to make that happen, it's what you have to do. If you're attacking a line and it's not coming out, there's only one thing you can do. Cut it shorter. So if I'm attacking the line with my clipper and I've went all the way closed on my taper lever, so I did it open, I went all the way closed and the line's still not coming out. I still got lines in my hand, right? Well, guess what? I'm going to jump to the trimmer. If I'm hitting this with the trimmer and it's not coming out, well, guess what? I'm going to jump to an electric shaver. It's a no-nonsense kind of thing because if you're going over a line and it's not coming out and you're doing it appropriately, you certainly only have one option, and that's to go a little bit lower. All right, let's see here. I feel you. I have the same opportunity to change to being a full-time barber. I love cutting hair, but I make a lot of money doing what I do now. This is the exact type of person that I'm trying to talk to live because I think there's a lot of people in this position, and in some ways, making good money doing something that you don't love, it can be a gift and a curse. Random question. But all the brushes I use as a fade brush sucks. Dude, the Gamma fade brush, I'm not even talking no trash. I was going to bring one home. I got like 10 at the shop. The Gamma fade brush, I don't have one over here. It's the truth. It's like, all right, so this is the thing with fade brushes. All right, any fade brush will work. Toothbrushes work, but the thing is, you don't want to cause discomfort to the client. So what you want to do is you want to have something that's strong enough that you can just knock the hair off, but not scratch the client. And that's all that really matters. And I think Gamma really hit it out of the park with their new brush. My only complaint about the new brush is they put the logo so that if you were right-handed, if you were left-handed, the brush is in your right hand, and you would be able to see Gamma. And when I hold it in my left hand, it's upside down. They're already aware of the situation, and they'll be printing some other ones. But other than that, man, that brush is super cool. And I actually got a couple in my station. I keep one for kind of just like cleaning off my clippers that I don't really use on other people, and then I keep one for using on people. And it's cool to have a few because you wanna be able to clean them. You want to be able to clean them. And let's see here. I always dye one side good, and the other. I think he meant do one side good, and the other side doesn't come out as good. And Randy, there's a good reason for this. The reason for this is there's usually varying degrees of density on the side of people's head. So on one side, they might have a little hair that's a little bit thicker, which means that it might be a little bit easier to blend. And their hair might be a little thinner on the left side. There is always an easy side and there's always a hard side. They could have come in and they could have been sleeping on that side. They could have a bunch of colics on the one side. And it's pretty rare to see somebody have a perfect head of hair. And those are the ones that YouTubers are after and Instagrammers are after, because, we obviously want to show our work and show our talents the best that we can. And starting off with good hair is certainly going to help us do that. But at the same time, I might ask you guys if you are not, if you guys are not advertising for yourself enough, if you're not posting enough. There's an old saying that a couple barbers have said, but Marvy Marv was the first one I heard say it, and he said, "Are you advertising to other barbers? Because are you advertising to other barbers, or are you advertising for customers? Because at the end of the day, I'm kind of advertising for both. I want obviously more barbers to join my channel and join my community, but at the same time, I want clients to see the work that I'm capable of. But if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would certainly not be afraid to post practically all my work, because at the end of the day, most clients don't really know an amazing haircut from a good haircut, or a haircut that maybe wasn't enhanced versus one that was. And they don't follow a million barbers, and they don't hold the standards of their barber to the highest expectations that you might. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to post your work, and the more customers you get, the better your work's going to get anyways. So it's a win-win situation if you start posting that stuff. Let's see here. Dollar store fade brushes. Someone wrote dollar store fade brushes. All right. What's a good tip to set an even bald line for a mid fade? The curves, let's see, the curves are coming out different from me. I'm not sure what he means with like the curves, but like, all right, so he might be watching like other barbers, like as they set in their lines. And, really there's no secret. There's no great secret potion to doing good lineups. And in the same way that there's no great secret potion to doing good lineups, it just takes time looking in the mirror and making sure you got it right. It's the same thing that when you set your bald line in too. Now, one of the things that you got to keep in mind with your bald line is if you put this bald line too high, then you're not going to be able to do anything to bring it down. And there's been plenty of times, myself, in my own career, I've made that mistake before. On clients that I knew wanted a lower fade, I went in there, I'm snapping in my line work because I'm just moving quick, and I realized I put it a little bit too high, and there's not a lot you can do. So what you need to do is you need to focus on where you want your line. Personally, I wish I had let me drop a cut in here. This cut is coming out soon. Let me see if I can make this a little smaller, because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm trying to show you. Oh, there we go. Oh, really? It won't be any smaller. I'm trying to show you guys something. It's just not going to work. But anyways, if you put your line in, I like to make my line curve just a little bit behind the sideburn. A lot of times I like to leave a little bit of hair in the front of the sideburn. I like to let it curve, and I like to let it drop down a little bit in the back. And one of the reasons why, like, most of the time I'll drop down in the back, oh, dude, I got my mannequin sitting right here. What am I thinking? Perfect. So on this mannequin, you can kind of see what I'd like to do is I'd like to almost draw my line in this nice curve that follows around the back. And one of the things that you can do is you can take like one finger, not that finger, you can take like one finger and put it above the ear, and you can match that on both sides. But I got news for you. The ears are actually not attached at the same height on both sides. So whoever set this whole life thing up, they might have not made the ears perfect on both sides. So it's best to still use your mirror. But I like to draw that sort of curve, and I like to drop it down in the back. And speaking of dropping it down in the back, one of the reasons why I do drop it down in the back is so if somebody has a colic, which I've never met someone without a colic, but if somebody has a colic that's difficult to deal with, I'm giving myself room, and I'm preventing a potential future mistake with that. So that's the main reason. Let's see here. Did I mess up getting the corded magic clips instead of the cordless? Mess up. I don't know. Did you pay, what did you pay for them? Because really, if you bought the magic clips or the corded magic clips, you could have bought the alphas for like $99, and you would have had one that lasts 4 times as long and is substantially better. But if you paid like $40 for magic clips that you're just plugging in, it's fine. And for the home cut, I mean, you don't need to have the greatest. But I'll tell you this though, if you had the cordless, it might be a little easier to cut around the back and sides of your own head because you're doing your own haircut. Let me ask you guys this too. I just want to get a feel of the room. How many of you guys think that the Bills are going to win tomorrow? We're playing the Arizona Cardinals. We're playing in Arizona. You paid $70. Well, I'll tell you, if you paid $70, that's pretty high for a pair of magic clips, especially one that is corded. And if you think about it, you could use my code, and you could get the alphas, or you can get this new protege. By the way, you guys, they're selling this. If you put my code in, I think it comes out to like $150. I mean, and you're getting the hitter and the protege, which is an incredible deal, and you're getting a liner with it as well. But if you don't need them both, and you go with just a regular, this is actually an alpha. They call it a protege because it's a little different. The blade that it comes with is a little different, and the cover's a little different. But it's essentially the same thing. It's an alpha, and if you use my code with this, I didn't look up at the prices with these, but these are a little bit cheaper than the other ones. So, all right, he said, I hope they win. I can't stand the Cardinals. That's what I'm talking about. PT, you're promoted. I've just promoted you to freaking coolest person in the room. I think the Bills got that one. Manny, you're second coolest person in the room because I know low key you be going for the Cowboys. Who you go for, Manny? All right, man. You know what would be so crazy? If someday this channel got so big that someone on the Bills noticed that I can cut good hair, and I was able to cut their hair, and I wouldn't even charge them. I just would. It would be like a guy. It'd be like a dream come true if that happened. It would be a dream come true. And there was actually a client in my shop last year who led me to believe it was possible for me to cut Devin Singletary's hair. Now, I was all about it. I would have drove over to Miami. I'd have done him up nice. I don't want no favors. I don't need no free game tickets, nothing. I'm going to be there anyways. But it would have been so cool if that could have happened. But who knows? Now with this COVID and everybody being terrified of it. Let's see here. Do you have tips on what you should study to become a barber before you go to barber school to have some knowledge? Drip, this is actually a good question, man. So, there's nothing that you can really do that's going to prepare you 100% for each test that you're going to confront. But there is a book called Make It Stick, and it's a book about how to study and how to effectively study. Because if you're doing a technique that people refer to as like block study, where maybe you will just lock yourself in a room and you'll study for hours and hours and hours, and you're never giving yourself a break. They do like all these things in this book to kind of explain to you like the most effective and best ways to study to help you with your recall. So what they were saying is like at 20 minutes, if you are on a graph, at 20 minutes you're climbing up and you're being productive and you're going to be able to remember this stuff. But after 20 minutes, you start to kind of flatline, and the longer you stay at it, you actually start to kind of come down. Your productivity comes down. So what they recommend in one portion of the book was they were saying like take a 10-minute break, get away from the information, and come back. But as far as like before you go to barber school, probably what the best thing you could be doing is attempting to get some practice in, maybe getting yourself a mannequin, and maybe starting to prepare some of your family members to help you, and just tell them like, look, I want to have a future in this. I'm going to take this really serious, and I'm going to do the best job that I can to cut your hair. And when you approach people around you with that, there's a good chance they're going to let you cut their hair and let you start practicing. And if anything, watching some videos about just different machines, how to set them up, why to set them up, and learning some of the inner workings. Because I don't know if you guys are like me, but it's kind of crazy. Like sometimes I'll see a video and I'll be like, you know, I got this. And then when you charge in, you kind of mess up a little bit. You're like, what? The dude on the video made this look way easier. And that's kind of like how this is. But the videos do really help me. And it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. Like I'll watch some dude pull off like some crazy editing trick, and I'll be like, oh, I got it, you know, and I'll go in there and maybe mess it up a few times, but I will get it. I will get it. So, you know, watching some videos and kind of preparing yourself and stuff is probably the best thing you can do. So let's see here. You know what? I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Hold up. We're going to find that out right now, because it may not. They might be a little bit cheaper. I didn't even open this one. I'm literally opening this one on the spot. Let's see if they give you a screwdriver in this one. Nope. Let's see if I got a screwdriver. Sometimes I got screwdrivers. Looks like. Uh-oh. Feels like a screwdriver. It's a pen. I don't have a screwdriver. I don't know if I can. And I can't really see it if it is or not. Can't really tell. But the one thing that they did do differently on these is this has a taper blade on it, as you could see. So that's a little different. And they made all of the levers, like you hear this click. The click is kind of good. Some people don't like it. I mean, it drives Chad nuts, especially when the click is loud. Chad's like, God, I can't stand it. He gets so mad. It's actually kind of funny because I'm like, I don't know. I don't even really notice it. The click doesn't bother me so much, but they made it so that you can take that apart and the click is gone. So they can all have a floating lever like this one. So I'd have to get back to you on that one, Juan, because I don't believe I have a screwdriver in here. But so anyways, my mom says, go Bills. Go Bills. Make it stick. There we go. How'd you find that so fast? I remember reading that book when I once contemplated going to college, which never materialized. But I read that book, and it certainly had some good stuff in there for you. All right, so this is what I wanted to talk about earlier too. Was there was people in here, more than one, and if anybody wants to come on the show, I would love to have somebody who's in this position. You make good money. And you have a good job, and you want to consider going to barber. You want to consider going to barber school. You are welcome to join this before I answer this, because I want to be able to answer this with a person on here that could help. Let's see. Weird question to ask. Do the Andis Cordless Masters come with guards, or do you have to buy them separate? Oh, it was a while ago since I bought them. But I think no matter what, you're going to need to buy the double magnetic guards, because if you're cutting hair with Andis clippers, you're going to want the double magnetic guards, because it's like one of the main reasons why people buy those, because those guards were so nice. The machines were nice too, but the guards were so nice. But personally, I didn't like that machine too much because it was so loud. It was too loud, like to the point where I just couldn't stand it no more. But I want to say that they didn't come with any guards. I have a review on it. If you guys go back and watch it, if you want to see, I did do the unboxing on there. It's just been a while since I've used them. Um, let's see here. There's a barbershop in Buffalo that are doing logos on the side of so many heads. Yeah, there's definitely the Bills logo is a tough one to do. It really is. It's not like that whack Patriot logo. It's like there's actually someone put some thought behind the Bills logo, and it's kind of a tough one to do. Um, let's see here. I did my first haircut this week. I noticed I struggled with bad lighting. Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? You guys don't make me bring out my light. You guys know how much I love my light. I don't even leave the house without this light. So listen, if I was gonna cut hair at home, or if I was gonna cut hair in a shop, there's no way that you can rely on the shop's light. I'm telling you right now, shops don't have good lighting. Almost none of them do. So this light is the RGB light. I have it in like a ton of my videos. It really is the best light going. All right, so let's take an example. All right, can't really see her too well, right? Her hair's a little dark. It's kind of hard to pick out the details, right? Well, now I got so much light that I can literally see the top of her scalp. I could see where they decided to skimp on hair. I could see everything that I want to see if we go here versus here. I mean, look, it's literally going to be impossible for you to pull off a good haircut if you can't see what you're doing. So this RGB light, the Pixel, it's in the link in the description. It's really, really a sick light. Plus, if you do decide to get into any type of like videography or something, or if you do decide that you want to maybe do some more like creative stuff with it, you can like change the colors and boom. I could light the Uno up, put this behind the Uno, make it look cool. And it just looks nice, but it's definitely something that I can't tell you enough. So, but let's see here. What we got here? Annis Masters don't come with guards. There we go. Alex, I've been cutting my own hair for I don't know. I mean, on and off for about 18 years or something like that. And once in a while, dude, listen. Whenever I can have someone in my shop cut my hair, I would much rather have them do it. But the reality is I can cut my hair so fast. I know every single thing about my hair. It's just a little bit quicker and a little bit easier for me to just get it done. But it does not come out as good as if one of my other barbers do it. Hi, man. I recently started trimming myself. I find the bottom line the hardest to fade out. Any tips? Well, don't make me plug the light. Don't make me plug the light. I'm not even sponsored by the light company. I make no money off the Pixel lights. You can buy as many as you. Well, that's not true. If you use my link, I would make like 1% commission, which would translate to like 25 cents. But I'm just saying, like, that light is just a good light, and it sucked. It sucked to fork over the 120 for it, but I did, and I've never been happier. That light literally lasts 8 hours on a single charge. And you can plug a micro USB into it. All right. So back to the bottom line is the hardest one to fade out. I assume I'm not even going to try to slander your name. I assume you must not have been in the thing in the live earlier today. But one of the things we talked about was your electric shaver and your trimmer and your clipper. You want to make sure that you have everything as close as possible together. So you want to make sure that you have them all zero gapped and all is close together. Because the reason why you're not getting the line out is two things. One, you're not cutting it short enough to get the line out. You don't have a machine that's gapped close enough to get the line out. Not maybe following your process. That's another possibility. But also just not having your stuff zero gapped is difficult. And I'm not going to lie, man. If you're trying to pull off a skin fade and you're not a barber and you're trying to pull off a skin fade on yourself, that means that you're trying to learn how to do something that's already pretty difficult to do on another customer. You're trying to do it in reverse through the mirror on yourself. And it just makes it infinitely more difficult than learning how to do it on a person. So, that's one of the things. Like sometimes it might not be worth it to go all the way down the skin. Jojo McCrae, All right, this is one of my favorite clients here. These guys, these guys are the young wolves. They're young wolves, poker players. They're wild, and they're great kids, man. And my condolences for your grandfather, my friend. So, anyways, it's hard to find full videos on hair fibers. You're right. You're right. Because the thing is, hair fibers are sort of. Listen, I've been using this product called High Beams lately, and it's awesome. It's a very awesome product, and it's sort of like a color and a fiber in one, and it just hits the hair super hard, knocks out all the little spots, cleans up all the little holes, and makes your ish look perfect. Now, if I use fibers, I'm going to spray it with hairspray. I'm going to spray the fibers in. I'm going to make sure I got them all lined up. It's a bit of a process. And then once I'm done, I'm going to lock it back in with some hairspray. But the moment that client, that hair comes into any type of water or wind situation, those fibers are gone. So it's not really for the client when you think about what fibers are for. They're more for the barber to satisfy his own quest in perfection. That's what, no, I mean, that's what it is for me. But yo, if you take that extra 20 minutes to put in the fibers and do the whole 9 yards, you can take a photo that will last you a lifetime. And I realize we got about 15 minutes left in the show, so I'm going to get to the cut critiques. But it's one of those things where if you do decide to put the fibers in, it's more for you and it's more for your picture, but you do get that picture forever. So it does take you some time. Eddie, you the man, bro. I learned a lot from you. I have a wall cordless senior, and let's see. I'm trying to go wireless. Got to get me one. Gamma, Ergo, wall cordless, Magic Clips, 50 cal. Which one? Okay. Let me see what. Let me put that back up. Let me see what these are all about here. He's trying to decide between the Ergo, the Magic Clips. Let's cross the Magic Clips right off, because the Magic Clips out of this list are the worst clipper on there. So that one's gone. The 50 cal Magnum versus the Ergo. Those clippers are very similar. And I'll just tell you this. I think the Ergo's shape sets it apart from other ones. And I think that their blades are cutting a little better than the 50 cal. And you guys know I have both of them. And I'm not trying to be too biased against Caliper, because I do think they make a good product. And I'm not out here trying to knock them at all. I just do feel like the Ergo, if you look across the board, anybody who's reviewed it, anybody who's used it, anybody who's touched it, they're all happy. They're all happy. It isn't just me. I mean, I'm sponsored. I do make a little money off of each purchase. I don't ask no money from you guys. I don't hide my content behind no paywalls or nothing. I just want to give this all away for free. And if you do want to support the channel, just support one of my companies that are sponsoring me. 614, Gamma, Stylecraft, whatever. All right, I see you, Steve-O. You ready? Bing.
Now then.
Hey, what up, man?
Yeah, how we doing?
Doing good, buddy. How's it going over there?
Not bad.
Hey,
Better now. I got my...
Uh-oh, he went red.
Yeah, Sam went.
Oh, you're good now. Got you back.
Yeah.
So what'd you say? You're better now.
I got me the shaver and trimmer.
That's right, man. So tell everybody what happened.
Oh, you don't want to know. Basically, I did my barber shed out. Spent ages on it.
It's your exit.
It's not funny. And someone decided to break in and took all my equipment. So they literally took everything.
So your new shed, that everything. All right, let me translate his English to American English. So he basically said that he put his shit out in the garage, all his barber shit, and somebody came in and they jacked it from his shed. They took everything, and he has spent a lot of time setting up his shed to be a nice little barber shop. And I assume he expected his stuff would be safe out there and had no reason to believe that someone would come in and steal some clippers. Do you think this has anything to do with the lockdown or like people are struggling or anything like that?
Yeah, to be honest, I do think it is. Obviously, times are hard, especially in in UK because we've just gone back into lockdown. So people are struggling to make ends meet. I think it's just someone's come in, just been round a lot of people's gardens maybe, and just it's probably not just my stuff, but they might have took other people's stuff. Luckily, police got in touch with me, and I did get some of it back, but not all of it. And there's still bits missing, you know, like I say, they took all my combs, they took all my brushes, they just took everything.
So,
they just wiped it out.
So listen, man. What I hear is basically there's a thief who may be well groomed. His hair, his hair might be combed. He might be actually got a nice cut on him. He might be out there hustling.
Yeah. Either that or the bastard will be cutting hairs from what I thought.
Oh
yeah,
man,
shocking.
So all right, let me tell you the other side of the story. All right, so the other side of the story is Steve tells me what's up, and all I did was I said, you know, look, I'm gonna try to take care of this. I'm gonna try to see if I can get him made whole. So I told Gamma about it, and in all honesty, sending stuff to the UK cost them a lot more. I feel bad whenever I ask for something to be sent to the UK because I know that it means that they got to kind of disturb one of their branches from overseas and ask them, and it's just a little bit of a trouble. But when I told them your story, Austin was like, "Yo, let's take care of it." And what'd they do?
They sent me the wireless Prodigy and the Absolute Air because I did actually manage to get my Ergo and my Alpha back.
Sweet.
So
you're rolling with a pretty good setup now. You're back in business.
Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, when it happened, and obviously the amount of stuff what got taken, it just kind of knocked me, and I just thought, I was talking to Chad, and I said to him, I might just give it up, you know, because I'd lost everything, and it just puts you just think,
oh
you?
Man.
You know.
You read this? Can you read this comment? Can you see it? He said, I think somebody follows you on social media and they may have seen that you were building that. They might have seen what was inside there.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Well, what you ought to do is you ought to rig up some booby traps.
Yeah.
You ever see those bear traps, those really crude bear traps? Now, I don't want to see one of your customers fall into one of those, but maybe if you had like one of them ones that's on a chain and everything, that if it snaps on someone's leg, then you can catch them. Yeah, you can or maybe keep a dog out there. You know what I'm saying? Get a dog.
Well, we have a dog. But it's as much use as a chocolate fire guard. You know.
And if the people are following you, they just heard that your dog don't know what's going.
Yeah, useless, lick you to death. But the thing that I was more gutted about was because I got some of the stuff back, but I was telling you I'd got the Ergo swivel shears, and I never got those back.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, you got you had the shear police shears.
Yeah.
Ah, dude, that just sucks. That sucks.
And what are those? They're like $400.
Oh, dude, that's just terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have got some scissors, but they're not brilliant. They're just ones that I started off with.
So let me ask you this about back to the lockdown, because my mind is already like 4 miles down the road. I'm like thinking, all right, you got your stuff back. You can start making some money, cutting some hair, and making some progress. But realistically, when do you expect to be open again?
They're going to review it again on the 2nd of December. So a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks. So they're going to review it again and see where they go from there. It may be longer. It depends, because numbers are still rising over here. So I don't know. But luckily, I'm at college anyway. I'm doing Barber College. So
that works out. You can just sort of like, you can kind of lean into that a little more. and so you
Yeah.
get a little further. You're gonna do well with this, bro. You're all in with this, man, and that's really like an important thing. And I was gonna talk about that earlier when I had somebody come on that was in that position where they were making a little bit too much money, so they were essentially pricing themselves out of their future. You know, if what they were doing or if what you were doing before all this wasn't making you happy and you turn around and realize like, hey, let's just say I'm making $20 an hour, right? I hate that because if I'm making $20 an hour, that means that no matter how this hour goes, no matter what happens during this hour, no matter how hard I work during this hour, I can't I can't beat that. I can't
Yeah.
do anything about it. Whereas in the barbershop, there's just this limitless potential. There's people who will turn around and just give you 100 and be like, yo, just keep it. Just keep it. You want any change? No, I don't want any change. And it's crazy the amount of money that you can make at the end of some days. And if you are going to be a good steward of your chair and your business, there's only the best part about this whole thing is there's only one person that you can blame, and he's looking at you in the mirror. And if you ain't busy as a barber, it's because you haven't put in that legwork yet,
Yeah.
And ultimately, I would think that this business can rival the likes of almost any type of financial opportunities that you might be able to get through, say, a 4-year college degree or anything like that. A lot of these guys, they get out of these 4-year college degrees and they're going to slave away at some company to maybe make like 50 or 60 grand, and it might be a number of years before they rise above 70 or 80 grand. And it is entirely possible to do, say, 20 haircuts a day at only $20 a piece, and you'll make $400 a day. Do it 5 days a week, you'll make 2 grand a week. It is entirely possible to do this, and that assumes nobody tips and you only charge 20. I mean, we charge
Yeah.
30. So it's just a case of having that courage to leave that security and dive into the unknown. And the only thing that I think most people regret that actually do take that plunge is that they either didn't do it sooner or they didn't jump from a higher point. you
Yeah.
know, you don't ever hear
Yeah.
anybody say, "I followed my dreams and it sucked."
No, this is true. I mean, of it, I'm 38. I left school. I didn't get very good qualifications, and there becomes a point where you've just got to go with what you believe in.
You reading these?
But yes, yeah, and I haven't had the easiest life. I'm 38. I suffer with anxiety, depression. I don't want to like sob story or all, but this is finding this and following this. It's just made me so happy. I got
Great.
made unemployed in March before the lockdown, and it's best thing that happened. It's best thing that happened.
Yeah.
Because it gave me that push to go and actually do something. My confidence as well. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would have never dreamed of coming on here and talking to you.
That's
You know
awesome,
what I mean?
bro.
Knowing that there's like other people listening to me as well.
That's awesome, bro.
So it's boosted my confidence as well, and that's only a good thing.
Absolutely.
And things are looking more positive now. We found out a few weeks back that we're having another baby. So
Hey, congratulations, bro.
So
Don't
we've
make
got
me.
that to look forward to.
I did it.
Yeah, so yeah, everything's looking good, and
That's awesome, man.
You know what I mean. Future's bright. We'll get over this COVID, and hopefully, start making some decent money, taking care of family.
You remember the show with Randy?
Pardon?
You remember the show with Randy when he talked about that anxiety and he was having panic attacks on the air, and you never would have known.
No, totally.
I mean, you never would have known.
Totally.
I mean, lots of people struggle with that, and it certainly is normal to feel some anxiety when you're new at cutting hair too. Like just anybody would. Like somebody is trusting you to cut their hair. Obviously, they want a really good haircut, and you may build this up to be something more important than it is. Like we're not doing open heart surgery. At the end of the day, no matter how bad you do on this guy's haircut, it's going to grow back, and
Yeah.
it's
Totally.
not. It's like we put ourselves on this pedestal to be like great, and it sometimes like even when you get good at this, when you've been doing this for years, there's people that can put you in a place where you feel uncomfortable, or you'll have like a mother just breathing over your neck and stuff like that. Like they do it to Chad all the time, yo. I don't know
Yeah.
why these people they get Chad cuts hair in my shop, and these people get uncomfortably close to Chad. I've seen it so many times where I look over and there'll be a mother like mere inches from his face, just looking at it at what he's doing every moment, and I'm like, I've even mentioned it because like I'm the one that calls things out in my shop. Like I just call it how I see it. I'm like, geez, Chad, you got an audience over here, and I
Yeah.
do it. But yeah,
Yeah.
Randy's a excellent barber, and you know what? He's fighting through his anxiety and his things too. And I guess we all have to do it to some extent. But once you get to a place where you're comfortable with your skills, it's not even really something that I think you worry about so much anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost like become like when I cut hair, it's almost become similar to walking in a way where I don't really have to think about putting one foot in front
Yeah.
of the other. I don't really think about like if you ever think about walking like this, you're like, okay, I'm gonna lift my right foot, I'm gonna lift it 6 inches off the ground, swing it forward, set it down, I'm gonna lift my left foot. You don't even think about any of
Yeah.
that. But in the
Yeah.
beginning of cutting hair, you're literally thinking of the most basic bottom level stuff, and there comes
Yeah.
a point in your career where all of that starts to just happen automatically. So when somebody tells me
Yeah.
what they want, it's almost like I got this weird program that just clicks in my head. My hands start doing it, and my brain
Yeah.
is like la 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 la. I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Just going off into your own place.
yeah. The only time I
Yeah.
can really even think about what I'm doing is when I am doing like a design, or I'm doing something that's pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit,
Mm.
which is why like I like going to the shows, and I don't mind cutting hair on the on the stages and stuff like that, because it sort of recaptures some of that excitement for me, and it is anxiety driven
Yeah.
to some degree too. It's just like it's something that pushes me out of my comfort zone, allows me to kind of grow, and there's no
Yeah.
growth in comfort when you think about it. Every time you're
No, I think
comfortable,
yeah.
you're not growing.
No, I think you've got to put yourself out of your comfort zone. Definitely. I mean, like I say, going back to the anxiety, I've been for the past 9 weeks. I've been having therapy for it, and it's such basic stuff. But when you talk through it and you go through it, you think, what was I even worrying about? You're worrying about things that hadn't even happened. Do
What
you know
was
what I
your
mean?
so if anybody else here is struggling from anxiety, like what do you think after the therapy was like your biggest takeaway from it?
Just to concentrate on now, the here and now,
The
and
present.
don't think about what could happen. Try and take your sin away from that, and just look now, because that's what I was doing. I was looking too far ahead before it
Yeah.
had even happened. Do you know what I mean? And whereas now I'm not. I'm thinking about now. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
a good point, and that's why like when I was teaching this initially, I was trying to like departmentalize this, because somebody comes in, they tell you they want a skin fade. You're like, oh God, you know all the steps. I know you know all the steps. I've been watching you grow, and
Mm,
not you're like, okay, I gotta put a line in. I gotta make sure it's even. Then I gotta get it out. Then I gotta cut the top. This guy might ask for an edge up. I might have to shave part of his beard. Oh my God, he's got all this hair over here. And it's just so easy for your brain to like think about everything at once. But
yeah,
even in like the military, or most militaries in most countries, they departmentalize to not overwhelm people when they're doing some kind of like decision making. So
yeah,
it's kind of like that. Like it's like, okay, man, like if we're gonna put the line in the 5-0 line, like let's just focus on that and enjoy the fact that that's happening. Enjoy the hair falling off. Enjoy the look that you're getting, and just kind of
yeah,
enjoy the fact that you got a cool machine in your hand that's doing it, and that you're taking that next step. It's almost like none of the other steps really matter. The only step that you'll ever be on is the one that you're on. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If you really
Yeah.
think about it,
Yeah.
you'll
Big
never
time.
be on those steps that you're thinking about later. You'll always be
Yeah.
on, the one that you're on now.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
that's
yeah.
good, bro. Listen, I'm gonna do a couple cut critiques, man. I'm running behind
Yeah.
here.
No worries.
I'm gonna jump off and I'm gonna look at the cuts that came in, and man, keep your head up. I'm glad you got some stuff to keep going, and I hope
Yeah.
that the
No. Thanks
lockdown,
again for that.
I hope the lockdown stops, man. The
Yeah. Thanks again, Eddie, for that. I appreciate it all,
Yeah,
mate. I really do.
awesome, man. Well, don't thank me, thank Gamma. They're the ones, they made it
Well,
all.
thank God you.
They made it all
Yeah.
happen, man. They made it all
Oh,
happen.
mate.
So,
Yeah. Definitely.
all right,
Right.
brother.
I'll let you get off anyway. Take it easy.
Cool. Later. All right, guys. That was Steve-O. And I forgot to mention, he does the Eddie's Army on Instagram. So if you guys want to keep up, and he's like really on it, man. I don't even tell him stuff. He just pays such good attention to the channel, and he goes out of his way to make posts and kind of like let people know what I'm doing with the channel, even when I don't know what I'm doing with the channel. Like tonight, I wanted to do a show like "What's your biggest struggle," and I wanted to try to engage as many people as I can, and try to help as many people as I can with what they're currently struggling with. And it's actually a very fitting thing to talk about the anxiety for a minute, because the truth is, maybe not everybody in this room struggles from that, but there is people who do struggle with anxiety in the cut. Oh God, we got a lot. Holy crap, we got a lot. All right, I'm gonna take it from the top. This is from Tyler Schnell, Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, he wrote Steelers versus the Bills for the ship this year. Yeah, right. Yo, this is a fresh cut. Yo, this is nice. And he took this photo with an iPhone too. I'm zooming in, dude. I am zooming in. So this would be like something of a crop top. Bro, he just showing off sending this cut. You just showing off. Bro, I love this cut, dude. I love the way the fade follows the curvature of the scalp. I think it fits the client well. The only thing I got against you is that you're a Steelers fan. And the Steelers are like my dad's second favorite team too. We both Bills fans, but he's always been like, yo, I love the Steelers. So great time. Great job, Tyler. I got nothing to say about that. Any cut like that, I'd be happy to show, and I hope you posted that one with some pride and made other barbers in your area shook, because they were like, damn, I got to come with the cleanness. All right, so we got an after picture from my man, Ivy Mack, but let's find the before. Oh, my God. Yo, you guys are going to be like, what is going on with this kid? You see his hair? This is the before picture. You guys ready for the after? Bing, bingity, bing, bing. Wow. He kept the hair on top about the length that it was. And this taper's fresh. Let me zoom in on it, because I can actually see a little better on mine. Because you guys know I got the computer. I got a 27-inch screen here that I can nitpick with the best of them. But I'm telling you right now, this is a pretty clean cut. And you could tell he's one of them kids who doesn't have that much of a, I don't want to say C cup, but like that area above the C cup in that line in the edge up. You could tell he's like one of them kids got like this much room. But overall, a good clean cut from the luckiest man who I've ever met on this channel. Ivy Mack wins everything, man. You guys are lucky. Listen, I can't give away nothing tonight. I've given away so much crap that I had to slow it down a little bit. The last few weeks, man, we've been just giving away crazy amount of stuff. All right, this is Phillip Torres, and pretty good fresh cut. Although I do see it, we'll let you guys say it. Does anybody see? He didn't want nothing off the top. That was Ivy Mack's last cut. He didn't want nothing off the top. That's a tall order, and I think you handled it well. What is he gonna do? Braid it? I mean, all right. So who could spot the little situation here? All right, but overall, I'm not. Let me see here. I'm gonna blow this up. Okay, a perfect time to talk about that little electric shaver again, because we got a little cut on his ear. It's the first thing that jumped out at me too. And honestly, I was up front. I was up front about cutting an ear earlier today. But if you guys look at his ear at the top, it's got a little cut on it, and there's probably a good chance that when he went around with the trimmers, potentially he did it, or he may have done it with the razor. But had he used this electric shaver, it would be cool. I wish I could see a little bit more of the haircut, and I kind of agree with Andy. If Andy is saying the same thing that I'm kind of meaning, I would like to have seen the fade stretch a little bit more. But overall, it's not a bad cut. It's not a bad cut. I'm just saying I would like to see the fade stretch a little bit more, but I think that the steps you took and the things you did are fine. I think it was a good clean cut. It'd be a perfect time to go around the back and sides of the ear with something that's super, super small, about the size of a lighter almost. You could see, like, if I was going to smoke a cigar, he said, go Pats. Those bums. Might as well write, go bums. All right, we got Alex. Okay. Let's drop my man Alex in here. And let's see here. Please take a look at these and give me some feedback. Thanks for all your teaching, Eddie. Alex. Okay, man. This photo, I can't. I don't want to jump on it right away. But all right, it looks to me like probably, and it's hard to say from these photos because I think it was maybe a little overexposed. I think there's maybe like a little bit too much light, but it definitely looks like we gotta smooth out that blend. And one of the things that I would tell you is in the case of this customer, let's keep the top a little bit longer. It looks like you used about a 2, maybe a 3 at the top, and he's got the type of hair that grows out, not down. So I would start there, leaving that a little bit longer, and I would say following your steps in order, because I can see that there's a clear weight buildup that probably the 1 1/2 and number 1 would get rid of. So if I was to kind of retrace my steps on this haircut to just get rid of some of that area that wasn't transitioning good, I would begin with the 1 1/2 in the open position, rock over it, eventually come to the close. Why am I doing that with no clipper? Eventually come to the closed position, and then I would jump onto the number 1, put that on, and I would rock that up and down. So that's probably what would get rid of that. But I don't think you're off base too much. I think you're on to the right. And this is a self cut. I got to remember that this is a self cut too. I think, right? Yeah, that's Alex. Absolutely, yeah. So this is a self-cut too, so we got to keep that in mind. That's definitely a lot more difficult to do, and it sort of makes me kind of change the way that I would critique you, because I know that you can't really see it so well. But it looks like your bottom transition is not too bad. It's not too bad. So let's rock and roll. I'm gonna randomly select a few more, because there's literally 40 of these. And I already, if I make this live feed much longer, ain't nobody gonna watch it. I'm already struggling. All right, O-Dog, I'm going to pick one of yours. I'm going to pick one of yours. No videos, man, because then I got to download them. Let's see here. All videos. All right, O-Dog, I'm going to download one video. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, because when I get a photo, I could literally just drag it over. All right, while I'm downloading his, I'm going to go over to Candy Galvin. Candy Galvin. Let's see here. Candy, this is a very, very smooth transition. I like what I'm seeing here. I do. If I was going to critique you or say anything about this haircut, first off, the blend, and it's clear that you know how to blend. It's clear that your blending skills are good. If I was going to critique or say anything about this, I would say it doesn't look like to me like you made your mind up between whether you wanted this to be disconnected or not. And it could be just with the way that you styled it. But what I would do is I would comb all that hair down that's disconnected, and I would cut that evenly, and then I would kind of comb it back possibly a little bit different, just so that it looked more intentional. But again, I'm grasping at straws here, and I think this is a really clean cut. And if you send me one with a little more dirty, you gotta give me a little more dirt on you to be able to kind of critique you good, because that blend was just so well done, and it wouldn't make any sense to beat you down over that. All right, let's check that download from ODog. Let's see if that thing's ready. It really don't take that long to download these things. It takes like a second, but all right, let's bang, drop them in. Come on. I'm trying to drag it, guys. It usually takes a couple tries. It can be hard to get these ones to jump into this. Oh, there we go. All right, hold the shift. Boom. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm gonna work my way through here. Okay, this is ODog, by the way. Thanks for sending this, and let's see what we got going on here. Okay, this guy here, he's got hair that's gonna be difficult to fade. I could take one look at this client, and I already know that there's gonna be some difficulty here. So, rule number one with customers that come in with hair that looks like this, you're going to want to leave that hair in the parietal ridge a little bit longer, because if you look on this side, you can see like where the darkness starts to build up, and then if you look on the other side, you can see, there's varying degrees of darkness. So the first critique I would say on this left side at the very top is going to be using some texturizing shears to try to reduce some of that density there, to kind of soften that out a little bit. The hair above the ear is always going to give you trouble, so you definitely could have taken this a little bit higher on this side above the ear and smoothed out that transition. And it looks like a half guard in this back left portion, half guard open, half guard closed, one open, one closed. That probably would have got the job done there. But let me jump back for a second. Let me digress. So what I'm trying to say, when you come in contact with hair that's going to be difficult, you're going to recognize it by seeing a lot of varying degrees of density. And that's one of the reasons why this guy's hair is going to be difficult, because maybe I think it would be on the right side, you'd say his hair was a little bit thicker, a little bit higher density. On the left side, it was a little bit less. So what I would try to tell you to do is all that hair above the parietal ridge, try to keep that all uniformly the same length, and do your best to work underneath it and work into it smoothly. And that's going to help you to keep that hair dark at the parietal ridge, because if that darkness is if you're in that darkness and you're cutting some of the darkness out, it's going to give you that exact result where it's sort of like up and down and up and down, and it's very hard to get it uniform. Of course, there'd be like some barbers out there that'll just spray a whole can of highlight in there or something, and it would have looked more uniform. But I appreciate him for sending in a cut that's difficult and allowing himself to be critiqued here live on air, which is definitely something that takes a little bit of courage. So again, ODog, I would just say a little bit lower with that 2 or that 3 that you decided to use at the very top. Set your guideline in maybe a tiny bit lower and work into it real safely. So maybe even in this case, you might want to work down a little bit. So if you came in with 1 and 1/2 open, 1 and 1/2 closed, 1 and 1/2, 1 open, 1 closed, and then set in your line and then blend it out, you'll probably be able to match those steps like a woo. Oh, you match it up though. You will. All right. So good cut, man. Thank you for sending that in. And let's pick one more, guys. One more. All right. We got Michael. You've sent one before. I sort of feel like I remember this customer. All right. Oh, he did. He said, "What up, Eddie? I sent you a pic before. Here's another one. I should have mentioned the last time that they're all self cuts." Oh, this is Michael Rodriguez, and this is Michael Rodriguez. All right. This is pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. This is a good clean cut, and even when I open it on my computer and try to look a little bit more with the microscope, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of bad here. Let's see here. Maybe if I open this up, let me open this up for upon closer inspection here. Move this somewhere I can actually view it. Okay, I got you. I found a mistake. It's not a real mistake, by the way, but there's just some hair left over in the ear, and yet another reason why, I'll take that hair out with the trimmer most of the time, but I just realized that this machine literally fits directly in your ear canal and causes no discomfort whatsoever. So, boom, right in there, just bam, and all that hair all around. Like, in all honesty, my ears have never had less hair in them. Like, it's the coolest thing. You can't get it with a razor. You can't get it any closer with a trimmer. You certainly can't get it with your normal shaver. But, that cut is clean, man. I'm not even going to knock it. I got nothing bad to say about it. And the fact that it's a self-cut is all the more impressive. Are you using some type of mirror or something? I'm just curious, like, if you're using some type of, like, self-cut mirror, something like that. I lied. I'm gonna do one more. I lied. I'm gonna do one more. All right. So we got Minor Perez, which my brother-in-law's last name's actually Perez. We got this young man here. I like the straight razors in the back. That's cool. That's real cool. And the shop that you're in and stuff. That's I like the way that's set up. All right. So we definitely got some stuff to talk about here. I can already tell you right now with the top. Let me find myself. All right. Right now with the top of his hair, I could tell by the way those bangs are laying over that there's a pretty good chance they weren't blended in that great. Now, it doesn't matter what your interior length is. I'm going to move that. It doesn't matter what your interior length is. The hair could be as short as it is in this mannequin. All right. But when you get to the bangs, comb them down, cut them to the client's satisfaction, and then all you're going to do, let me see if I can balance this on my knee. All you're going to do is you're going to direct that hair up into whatever length you wind up with. So, for instance, if you cut the bangs and they came down to here, right? When I lift them up, they'll be about here. If my interior length and my exterior length have a difference, I'm simply going to hold it up in sections like this and tip it out and cut it. Tip it out and cut it. Tip it out and cut it. Now, had you done this with his bangs, you would have noticed that they would have fell a lot. There would have been a lot less weight there, and it would have looked smoother in the front. And I probably would have maybe combed it back or a little bit, but it's good that you didn't because I was able to kind of see it a little bit better. All right, so let's take to the back and the side. So he's showing all the dirt, man. He's showing it all. And first off, let me say, there's nothing easy about cutting hair with people who have a difference of color in their hair, and it can make it kind of difficult. Now, the one thing that I could say about this taper is the taper, we without a doubt can bring that higher. There's no reason to keep it that low. I think it would have looked a little cleaner if you would have set in a rainbow guideline, like I was talking about in the taper video. Because one of the things that has happened in this particular one, let me see if I can shrink this a little bit. Come on, man, let me shrink you up a little bit. All right, it's not cooperating with me and let me shrink it. It's shrinking the whole thing. All right, so one of the things that I was talking about in the taper video was if I set my guideline in like a rainbow, all right, that keeps all this hair long. And then when I blend it out, I'm cautious what direction I use so that I can blend it in and make a nice smooth taper. So I wouldn't have been afraid to take that a little bit higher in the back and then blend that out because it looked like a taper that you didn't fully commit to. And it definitely, you definitely could go a little bit harder at it. But, you just keep whacking away at it, man. You're going to get better. And as far as the back and sides goes, not too bad. Not too bad. Looks like we got a pair of text. You used a pair of thinning shears in this for sure. And I can kind of see that on this side. It looks like you may have used that to kind of soften out this line. And like I said, there's nothing easy about blending out, two different colors of hair. One of the other things I'd tell you is just watch the sideburns. It looks like the sideburns are sort of tipped up if you compare it to this side versus this side. So on this side, your sideburn looks okay. But if I go back to this one, the sideburn looks like it's pointing up, and I would be mindful of that, and try to make sure that they're both level. It's just like a pet peeve. It's like when I look at that on that side, I see that automatically, and I know that some people it can be difficult to do that with. So just try to be mindful of that. And all in all, just keep working at it, man. Just keep grinding. Steve, Steve sent me the dog. This is his guard dog. This is the reason why people were into to break down his door and steal all his barber stuff because this dog was snoozing. This dog was snoozing. All right, and last one I'll do, Andy. I know I told you guys I was done a while ago, but I just can't say no, man. I can't say no. Bad. This really isn't bad. I know that this can be some pretty difficult hair to cut, and it looks like he wanted to keep a lot of hair. Let me see if there's another picture here. Yeah, because this is what I suspected. This is the and I don't know what the answer is here, but this is the thing here. The back of his hair, the colic is a lot longer, and on the left side there's a good amount of hair removed. Nothing wrong with what you did here, Adam. However, I don't know what to do sometimes in this situation because you got kids, they want to keep their hair super long. They want the hard part, so you take a lot of this hair out, and then you come around to the crown, and you're like, oh, man, what do I do? Do I knock the crown down, which is what we do sometimes if the colic's low enough, or do we keep it longer? And, I sort of like the decision you made here where you just kind of left it longer and you let it hang over, and I think that this looks good on this guy. So, I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too bad. But it's that part of the hard part that makes it difficult to know 100% what to do because we put the hard part in, and the rest of the client's hair is like super long. Sometimes maybe you can get that part a little bit lower, but it's one of those things you got to take on case by case and just kind of see what you think the best situation for the client is. And that was Andy, BC. So this is like the sixth time we got this question tonight, but I assume he might not have been there. And I'll go back to one of my main answers is when you are setting up your machines. All right, you got your electric shaver and you got your trimmer, and you want this electric shaver. Obviously, you're going to leave no hair. You're going to be completely bald. But you want this trimmer to be able to come as close to that baldness as you can get it. So that's why we zero gap. That's why we get these as close as we can cut them. And then the same thing when we get to our actual clipper, we also want to make sure that we have this zero gap so that this can be as close as we can get to our trimmer. And that's the reason why we're able to blend out those really harsh lines. So putting in the line can be one thing, but getting it out, and there's a pretty good chance that your equipment might not be set up 100% perfect. And we've ran for a half hour, and we've got a lot of great engagement tonight, and we've had a lot of people in, and we can definitely do another show on this situation because it seems like everybody was responding well to the struggle. Because look, we all got things that we struggle with, and it's been a fun show to show, to see that other people are struggling with some of the same things. I think it all makes us feel like less isolated about it. Like we know that, there's people who are making this mistake. I know that I've made it. You know that you've made it. We talk about it here. We could just be honest and we could just be frank with each other, and we can all just kind of grow together, So that's what's kind of cool about a show like this. And if you guys want to see me do what's your biggest struggle again, and maybe send you in there with one of my interviews, get you on the show or whatever, that would be cool. And also, I want to get someone on the show who is making good money, who is not a barber, who is considering to become a barber, because I want to try to inspire them to follow their dreams, because that's a struggle that I think a lot of people are in. And whether they're making good money or whether they're not, it really doesn't matter. But like if you're in a job that's providing you a lot of security, taking that leap can be scary. But I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, I took a chance on my dreams and I regret it. I don't believe I've ever heard that. But anything's possible, I guess. But I'm just saying, like, if you really feel passionate about this, if you really feel like it's something you want to do and it's going to bring you great happiness, by all means, I really hope that you guys find the courage to take that leap and make that happen. Luciano's right, man. I got this here. If you use my code, it's somewhere around 150, and you're getting both. These are, they're calling them proteges, but they're basically the absolute alphas, and you're getting the absolute hitters. And by the way, you guys, on a last note, the absolute hitters with a with that P3 blade on it, they are just good. I mean, that P3 blade is really, really good. And if you guys have an absolute hitter, laying around or whatever, by all means, just go and get yourself that blade, because it's a really, really nice blade. And we're gonna keep it coming for you guys. So whatever new type of drops that we got, I'm gonna keep you guys up to date. And listen, man, I'm about to get up out of here. I've had a lot of good. I had a lot of good vibes from you guys. I hope I'm spreading them good vibes out in the universe. I hope that you guys can go out and make some money, or have the courage to take that next step. And if you guys can, because YouTube be hating on me, on the way out, just click a little thumbs up, man, so that maybe someone gets suggested, maybe somebody hears this, maybe somebody feels a little less alone with the mistakes that they're making, or maybe somebody is encouraged to try to follow their dreams by seeing one of these videos or seeing one of these lives. So until the next one, I'm not 100% sure, Steve. I see your question on the P3 blades. I'm not 100% sure what they are, but I can get back to you guys on that, because they sent me one, but I didn't buy one. But yeah. So anyways, I'll be getting back to you guys real soon. Hit them thumbs up on the way out. I really appreciate all of you guys. This is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'm signing off. I got an upload coming for you guys on Thursday. You already seen the thumb earlier. And other than that, I'll be back here next week, next Saturday, and we're going to keep it going. Peace.